Let's talk about encouraging ethical behavior. The objective of this section is to explain how ethical decision-making can be encouraged. Most authorities agree there is room for improvement in business ethics. A more problematic issue is whether business can be made more ethical in the real world. The government can establish levels of behavior by passing more stringent regulations. For example, the Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002 gives those who report corporate misconduct new legal protection. Trade associations can, and often do, provide ethical guidelines for their members to follow. It's also the individual company's role to encourage ethics. Codes of ethics that companies provide to their employees are perhaps the most effective way to encourage ethical behavior. A code of ethics is a written guide to acceptable and ethical behavior as defined by an organization that outlines uniform policies, standards, and punishments for violations. However, codes cannot possibly cover every situation. Companies must also create an environment in which employers recognize the importance of following the written code. Managers must provide direction by fostering communication, actively encouraging ethical decision-making, and training employees to make ethical decisions. Assigning an ethics officer who coordinates ethical conduct gives employees someone to go to if they aren't sure of the right thing to do. An ethics officer meets with employees and top management to provide ethical advice, establishes and maintains an anonymous confidential service to answer questions about ethical issues, and takes action on ethics codes violations. See Figure 2.2 for some guiding principles behind well-known companies' codes of ethics. Unethical practices often become ingrained in an organization. Employees with high personal ethics may take a controversial step called whistleblowing, or informing the press or government officials about unethical practices within their organization. Whistleblowing can have serious repercussions for an employee. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002 protects whistleblowers who report corporate misconduct. Any executive who retaliates against a whistleblower can be held criminally liable and imprisoned for up to 10 years. The Whistleblower Protection Act of 1989 protects federal employees who report an agency's misconduct. When firms set up anonymous ethical hotlines to handle ethically questionable situations, employees may be more likely to engage in whistleblowing. When firms create an environment that educates employees and nurtures ethical behavior, whistleblowing is greatly reduced because fewer ethical problems arise. Table 2.1 shows general guidelines for making ethical decisions. Social responsibility is the recognition that business activities have an impact on society and the consideration of that impact in business decision-making. Social responsibility can cost companies a considerable amount of money, but it's also good business. Target, for example, has donated $1 billion for public education. Target's support has provided books, school supplies, food, field trips, and more to students and schools throughout the United States and around the world. Procter & Gamble's Orange Loads of Hope trucks take disaster victims' dirty laundry, washes it, and returns it to them clean and folded. The program has done more than 55,000 loads of laundry. Even small businesses can develop social responsibility programs. P. Terry's, which operates 14 fast food hamburger stands in Austin, Texas, donates 100% of its profits from one day each quarter to a local charity. Corporate citizenship is adopting a strategic approach to fulfilling economic, ethical, environmental, and social responsibilities. For example, at General Electric, being a good corporate citizen is more than a program or a set of good intentions. It's a full-time commitment to finding sustainable solutions to benefit the planet, its people, and the economy. It is embedded in our culture and our business strategy. It's working to solve some of the world's biggest challenges. It inspires our thinking and drives actions. Table 2.2 lists the best corporate citizens according to corporate responsibility.